wait for you guys to come on in. Come on in. Just work this out.
My name is a pocket. If you don't remember, if you didn't remember. He got that too. AI.
Hey. We got a nice, serious topic to discuss today. It's a convo with a sociopath. This is a mind of a sociopath. I thought I'd bring this to you guys so you can get a little education on a sociopath, a psychopath, being bipolar. So take heed to what he's saying. Look at the blank expression on his face. Remember, they're habitual liars. You don't know if they're lying, not lying. But let's take a listen to what a sociopath had to say out of his own mouth. He has antisocial personality disorder and he's bipolar. So he is all up and down the spectrum. So hide your kids, hide yourself, hide your dog, hide your cat, hide everything from these people because they'll take it. These are what you call emotional vampires. That's what you got. Hey, my babies, these what you call vampires. They suck the life out you. Hide your pens, hide your pencils, hide your food, everything. But let's go. I'm not going to be stopping it too much, but there's a lot of questions that I believe she should have asked. So if you can find them, tell them come on over here.
I would say it's pretty average, to be honest. If you were on the outside looking in, you would say that it was pretty boring. Because for the most part, I don't. What I tend to do now is I tend to just really stick to myself, because I have to be very careful about how many
And remember, this is a fair use video for educational purposes.
interacting with people and under what context I'm interacting with people. So I tend to limit anything that would be negative for me.
Why do you have to limit yourself?
Because if I encounter a certain kind of person, and if I'm talking to you and I sense a level of weakness, I get kind of the urge to prey upon that. in a way. So in order for me to kind of mitigate that, I definitely limit my social interactions. And I have to make sure it happens underneath the right context. Otherwise, I just, I try to stay away from it.
I have to be fully transparent.
Mm-hmm.
When you reached out to me and I read your diagnoses,
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, can I trust him?
Mm-hmm.
Can I give him the platform of our audience who I care deeply about?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to try to manipulate me? Are you going to try to manipulate our audience? Are those valid
Turn it down a little bit, Tony.
Those would be valid concerns for sure. But as I said earlier, I would say I like what you do, because definitely people have voices that need to be heard, and I would hate to, disturb that process in any way.
When you say prey on somebody, what do you mean?
So the way it would work for me is, I'll speak to someone. I won't really tell them much about me. They'll tell me about them, and then once they tell me about them, I'll kind of form a personality. I'll exaggerate certain features about my own personality to match what it is that they're looking to see. And then once I get my goal, whatever that goal is, then I'm done with the situation, and then I move on.
This is why I tell you people all the time, you got to be careful of what information you put out about yourself. Unless you're to the point that you could say what you say and they can't use it against you, then you can say what you want to say. But you got to be careful. They prey on you and they smell your weakness. You heard me? They smell your weakness. And this is what these nature boys, these pharaohs, or this is what all of them does. And you give them the ammunition against you.
And I've had feelings that I was strange as long as I can remember.
What was it like to feel strange at a young age?
It's a bit interesting, I would say, because you're kind of able to exist on the fringe, and it's kind of like you're on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's on the other side of that window pane, so it kind of gives you the freedom to watch and to look and to observe. Especially if you're a quiet person naturally, people can kind of forget that you're there.
Did you feel like a different animal, a different species?
No, I thought everyone else was different. As a kid, I thought they were the weird ones, and
What was weird about them to you?
Like, why are y'all? I guess why do you get so sad at certain things? Why do you get so excited over certain things? Like, it's not. I just looked at it like it's not natural. I wasn't really able to relate to other people, and when people would get extremely angry or extremely sad, I would say as a kid more so I would actually get annoyed, or if people would get overjoyed, and sometimes people get super excited, they jump up and down, they clap. As a kid I would get annoyed by that because it's like, I don't understand, what's the purpose of this overt display? It doesn't do anything for anyone. Just the fact that you got good news, it doesn't make the good news better if you jump up and down about it. So I sat back and I watched people, and I watched how they were able to do things, and I used this information to outsmart people. I was able to outsmart a lot of my teachers. That's kind of how it started, the manipulation and the lying. I would outsmart a lot of my teachers. I would come up with lies on the spot. Like, I would come into class and my teacher would ask, "Where's the homework?" I would tell her, "Oh, my dog, he got rushed to the hospital last night. We were there late until about 3 a.m. and there was this problem and that problem and that problem. I don't even have a dog, never had a dog."
So would it be correct to say that when you meet somebody, you kind of size them up and you say, okay, this person shouldn't or should be manipulated?
It's not should or shouldn't be. If I have something that I want to get, then I'm gonna do my best to get it.
Since I walked in here and we started talking, have you sized me up at all and analyzed any of my weaknesses and how they could be manipulated?
Yep.
I mean, when I was watching your videos, I mean, I thought about it,
Yep.
but I wanted this to be kind of like more of an honest format. But I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. And it's also, I don't really gain anything from doing that in this situation anyway.
Can a person ever fully trust a sociopath?
Nope. Nope.
I would say that you have to, if this is someone that you actually care about, you have to spend time with them and see actually where their head is at. I would say, and I would say if this is, in most cases, you wouldn't even know. To be honest, you wouldn't know until they did something to you. If I'm being honest, so, but if you're meeting someone like me who is gonna, who will tell you that this is what I'm going through, I would say, watch them. Watch and see how it is they react to certain things. See if they, are prone to outbursts. See if they're willing to lie to you. See if they're willing to manipulate you.
So I find it interesting that you said in order to trust a sociopath,
Mhm.
you have to watch them, observe them,
Yeah.
and understand their behavior.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you want people to act like you, or you.
No, you can never, ever trust them. Because if they want something, they're going to get it from you. You have to learn to protect yourself in life, period. You have to learn how to say no. I don't think so. You got to learn not to be so giving and learn who to give to. You always got to make sure it's a even exchange. When you got a friend and it's always you, that person is most likely using you in your friendship. If it's always you all the time and never them, be careful. But you can't trust somebody. No, 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 no. See, he lying right now. You see that? He lying right now.
Only understand the world from your perspective.
Mhm. I want to say is that I necessarily want people to act like me. I look at it like it's more so about your own safety in a way. If you're dealing with someone that does have those kind of issues, they do have strong urges. That's where the observation point comes in, because we can't always perceive certain things like that based off of emotions. I'm really good at faking emotions, so you wouldn't, if you're going off of emotional basis, you wouldn't know.
When would you say is the last time you've manipulated somebody?
It's been about a year.
A year?
Yeah.
I would know.
How have you gone a year without that?
I would know.
I kind of limit my social interactions. I make sure I'm not dealing with certain kinds of people.
Did you always understand the negative effect manipulation can have on others?
No, I didn't. I didn't always understand why people had an adverse reaction to it. Because in a way, I kind of looked at it like a game. And you lost.
Do you feel ashamed about people you hurt in the past?
Nope. He doesn't have emotion and feelings.
Shame, not
No.
necessarily, but I do look at it as being inadequate.
You
Inadequate.
being inadequate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
No.
mean by that?
it's low frequency. Low frequency actions, low frequency emotions. That's really, well, that's how I look at it.
Mhm.
It's just, it doesn't really help anyone. I guess it serves me. I get to fulfill a sensation, but then I have to fulfill the sensation again. So you could say, even for me, it's not working. So when you kind of think about it logically like that, and you gain insight, which is the issue, people that have that diagnosis, it's hard for them to have insight in terms of what other people
Mhm.
are experiencing. So you have to just gain a level of insight, I would say.
What are all of your diagnoses?
Um,
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G. We also believe in putting people first.
So when it comes to antisocial personality disorders, specifically, you can see a lot of overlap with different conditions. So for me, I have bipolar disorder. There's the antisocial personality disorder, and then also I have some traits of borderline personality disorder. Typically, a person with the antisocial personality disorder, if they're getting diagnosed, it's because either someone asked them to go that was close to them that's hurt by their actions, or they did something illegal, and now they have to see someone.
Why did you seek out therapy in the first place?
Because I was going through, for quite some time, I was going through basically bipolar episodes. And it was unusual for me because there would be times where I'm like feeling a level of happiness, like this kind of overt happiness. And then there would be just this deep depression where I don't want to leave bed, or I'll be intensely angry, or I'll be so numb that basically, I wish I was dead in certain circumstances. And that was unusual for me because throughout my life, I was used to not really feeling too much. And I do feel like, the bipolar disorder kind of resulted from the antisocial personality disorder. I feel like it came from me just, I guess, trying too hard to feel like I was a regular person. And then it never works for too long, because in order for you to have people close to you for a prolonged amount of time, they're gonna find out that something's wrong.
Did you have any fear with telling the world your diagnoses?
No, because I've already been called, all kinds of things. So I don't think it really makes a difference to me. It doesn't change my life in any way, no.
Do you have any type of emotional reaction when people call you those negative things?
No.
It depends. Because if it's something where I guess you could say I'm trying to be genuine, because I'm not always manipulating and lying to people with the intent of deceiving them. Sometimes I'll do it to make them comfortable. So if I'm putting in all this effort to be something to make you more comfortable, and it's not received, that can have an effect on me.
You smiled a few times in this interview.
Yeah.
Is that something you tell yourself to do to make me feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I smile a lot. Especially if I'm in regular conversation, you would have seen me on the street. Yeah, I'll be smiling a lot. It disarms people. It makes them more comfortable.
Do you have the capability of feeling empathy for others?
Not in the same way that an average person would. So say, for example, if someone came up to you and they told you, oh, my grandma just died last night. You may feel intrinsically sad when they tell you that. You may feel sensations almost as if your own grandmother passed away. For me, it's not like that. I won't say that I don't care. That's harsh, but it doesn't make me sad to hear that at all. So instead, what I'll have to do is I'll have to logically understand that, okay, this is an event that people typically get sad at. So I would have to find words of confidence to give them. I'm sorry that happened to you. I know that must be hard. Is there anything I could do? Would you like to talk? Things like that. My grandfather passed when I was about, I was 5 or 6. I remember sitting on my father's lap and he was crying. And I remember wiping the tears off his face and telling him it was going to be okay. I understood that my grandfather was gone and he wasn't going to be coming back. But at the same time, I didn't understand why all the tears. I would say I ended up becoming very perceptive to people. It's not like a thing where sometimes people, I don't know if you can do it, but people can walk into a room and kind of feel the mood without even really interacting or looking at anybody in the room. I can't necessarily do that. So I'll have to walk in, I'll have to look at people, observe, any body language. And then from there, I would go off of that. So just all of that, basically that is just simulated emotions that I've been using.
When was the last time you felt happy?
I don't know. Truly, I don't know.
When was the last time you pretended like you felt happy?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. Because, it makes people uncomfortable. If they're around someone, how do you not, experience joy?
Would it be correct to call you a sociopath?
If you're thinking in terms of scientific terms, sociopathy, they kind of discarded that term a while ago. But in terms of what most people understand it to be, I would say yes. Layman's terms, yes.
Do you have the desire to have a close relationship and maybe even get married in the future?
No. Baby, start
I'm not
crying.
sure yet.
No,
I'm not
baby,
sure
start
yet.
crying.
That's something that that I debate with myself, and I'm not 100% sure if I want to get married and have children. Um, the notion of it seems reasonably nice to me, I would say, but I don't know if it would be 100% possible, because when you speak about romantically, it's difficult to get people to understand that is, people start to feel inconsequential when I tell them it's not necessarily, it's not really you. Like if I like a person, me liking a person is based off of traits that I notice within them that I feel like would be basically beneficial for me going down the road, and I would like to explore those traits further. So it's
This is why you got to change up. This is why you got to learn how to change up. Because them predators out there are watching you and they have you figured out. Again, if you saw the beginning of the video, do not tell them. That's why when somebody lied to you, get out of the habit of saying, I know they lied. Get in the habit of catching them in the lie in the beginning. Hey, what? That don't sound right. Train you the same way they train their mind. You have to train your mind to protect. They train their mind to be a predator. You have to train your mind to protect yourself. Because that's why people be with some people for so long and they be like, he's nothing but a liar. They know this already. Or all he does is this. They know this already. They don't feel bad at all. You'll save yourself a lot of crying time if you look at the red signals. If you do not see the red signals, you still have to protect yourself. Okay, still got to protect yourself. Let's go.
it's hard to kind of explain to someone that is in an emotional sense, in a romantic sense, I'm not super connected. For me, it's a sense of duty and commitment. So I'm gonna do things for you because you are who you are to me. And but people, they in relationships, they want more. They want a little bit more from you. So it gets to the point where I'll basically put that mask on to make them happy. But I can't hold it up forever. So they find out that there are some inconsistencies there in terms of the emotions. And when you're trying to get someone to see past the emotional aspect and just look at it in the sense of how I look at it, I'm committed to you. They don't really. It's hard to kind of explain that. People start to feel like they're inconsequential. It's not really me that matters. If I want to connect to someone, like in a relationship, for example, if I meet someone that I have an interest in romantically, like I don't like you the same way, like how people like each other. I don't feel any emotional attachment to that. So in order to make someone comfortable and lack of emotional attachment, I have to wear a mask. Like I have to remind myself to tell my family members I love them. I have to remind myself to maintain in contact with my friends and things like that. So it can be off-putting, if I'm not exaggerating a bit.
So I want to make sure I'm interpreting this correctly.
So, you want to get hired before summer ends? The hottest tech companies are
Transactional. You see that they have personality traits that will benefit you,
Mhm.
but then you also want to do things for them to keep those personality traits around because in the long run that's more beneficial than not having that person around.
Exactly.
It's almost like a math equation.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that. It kind of is like a math equation. So I would say there's definitely, like anybody else, some people I like a little bit more than others, of course. So some people I would try a little bit harder, but yeah, that's kind of what it is. It is a transactional thing for me. people, they'll be very wary of you. So anybody that I tell, they're very wary of me.
Is that
But
warranted?
is it warranted? I would say yes. I would say yes, because you do have to be relatively careful when you're dealing with someone who truly has an antisocial personality disorder. It's not necessarily a thing where there's gonna be physical violence, or you're gonna be hurt or anything like that. But if that person doesn't have insight as to how their actions actually affect other people, I would say the likelihood for you being manipulated, even if it's in a small way, is gonna be very high, because most people with sociopathic tendencies, they're not gonna always formulate super grand schemes to take advantage of people. Sometimes it would just be, I'm looking to get lunch today, so let me manipulate this person over here so I can get $10 and go get lunch.
The fact that you're talking so openly about all of this, that means that you're not really concerned with wearing a mask anymore.
No.
You're gonna always have that
So
mask,
I've
baby.
come to a point where it's just I have to accept it, that this is who I am.
The mask is there. The mask is gonna always be there. That's why he said he don't be around people too much, because if he smells your weakness, he's going to prey on you. So he lying again. He lying again. You gotta throw in some lies. The mask don't go away. You understand? He's still going to. He's a vampire. At some point, he's gonna be like, "Oh, this is some good blood right here. This is some good blood." So remember that the masks don't go away. They can tell you all about themselves. That don't mean I can deal with this. I'm sorry if you can match they crazy, or they mental issues, and knock yourself out. But the mask is not off. The mask is still on. And if you're weak, they're gonna get you. You tell them too much about yourself, they're gonna get you.
And trying to do too much to change that is where I start seeing negative things come into play.
Do you want to feel like a regular person?
I would say I wanted to at one point, but I've kind of let go of that more so recently, and it has been helping, because I find that the more I try to fit in, the easier it becomes for me to do negative things, manipulate, lie, and become angry, ridiculously angry.
What is your motivation not to do that stuff?
I just feel like it's too much chaos that I'm putting out there in the world, and that's really it. I just feel like it's too much chaos, and that's just not a good thing.
Is that something you realize independently, or did therapy help?
I would say therapy definitely helped me realize that, because speaking with my therapist for the 2 years, she helped me realize that a lot of the things I was doing was basically it was all kind of self-serving, and at a certain point you do have to gain a level of insight, and realize that you're making your own life harder.
What would you say to the people you've heard in the past?
Nothing. Before he answered that question,
he said for him to try to fit in, that he has to
mask people. He has to take on.
Yes, I don't know. With something that went by, I should have said something.
I'll rewind it back a little bit. But let me know, and I can explain what he's saying. For him to do what? What's the question?
He said for him to be around people that he
He has to act normal. It's all a mask. He has to act like that. Now, I'm gonna rewind it a little bit for you though. But what's happening here is when he goes to the therapist. See, the one thing everybody knows is right from wrong. The one thing everybody knows that you have the choice to do this or not to do this. So that's the purpose of going to a therapist because yeah, you don't have to have like I don't have to have I'm not a man. I don't have the BALLS, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I do know if I kick somebody in it, it may really hurt them. I don't feel it. So I have the choice if I'm going to knee you there or not. You know, a lot of times we don't feel certain things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't make it right. You still know right from wrong. I may not feel his pain. Hey, you made me do it. You know, so that's how they see stuff. Well, you made me do it because you are weak. Like they in their mind they conjure up reasoning why you made them do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why with Nature Nut, he conjure up reasons why he has this behavior. See, that's I want to see. I want to find one with a talk with a narcissistic person, but it's all in the same it's all in the same spectrum because you could be a narcissistic sociopath, which is Nature Boy, right? So they always say everything that they do to you, it's justified. You know, hey, I want like he said in the beginning. You know, my teacher asked me, you know, where's my homework? And he just came out of nowhere and told the teacher, oh, my dog died. And the teacher felt so bad for him. He said he didn't even have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, you know, I'm trying to get y'all, the purpose is to get y'all to start really, really thinking about these people who have problems. That's why I tell people stay out of your feelings and listen and watch what people is saying or doing. It don't care about your feelings.
Exactly.
You gotta know when somebody lying, when they covering their butt, when they stretching it. Don't come to me with no sad stories. I know when it's a true sad story. I know when something is real. And I know I've been around enough of them. I know when it's fake. And that's why they keep getting away from it. Because they still know right from wrong. So the first time somebody lies to you, you have to check them and leave them alone. Because you're going to spend many, many moons with this person. Oh, he don't do nothing but lie. Well, you like it? Don't complain about it. So let me let this finish because I got one more little one.
I would say I wouldn't even say that I hope you can forgive me. I would say it's more so I hope you can forgive yourself. There's not anything wrong with you.
You see that? Don't forgive me, but forgive yourself. Woohoo.
You are still perfectly fine as a person. And I would say basically, I won't say don't take it so personally, but don't look at it like, you know, there's something wrong with you. You know, it was something that was wrong with me, basically.
Is it still wrong with you?
Yes.
I struggle with it. That's why, you know, I limit myself in certain situations.
Do you view yourself as better than other people?
Yeah, definitely. But I do my best to kind of combat that. Because that comes from, you know, outsmarting people. You get this sense of, you know, inflated sense of self. You know, almost narcissistic, I would say.
Do you believe you're better than me?
I would say based off of my belief system, no. Simply because of the work that you do. Again, not really an emotional thing. It's just the work that you do. You know, people benefit from it. So
what is your belief system?
I just certain things are right and certain things are wrong,
See,
and that's it.
Is that something you taught yourself, or was that learned through therapy?
that's the therapy.
It was a combination. It was a combination, because my therapist would help me. She would help me navigate through the confusion. Like I would come to her with certain problems. Like I said this to that person, and they reacted to me like this. Why? Why did that happen? I don't understand. I thought that I was emulating the best I could. So it would be things like that, and she would teach me the difference between just emulating and exaggerating versus trying to more so genuinely connect with people. And that's where the whole understanding, like we mentioned earlier, someone tells you that their grandmother passed, you have to realize and you have to recognize that that can be a horrible event for people.
Do you have any fear that once you share your diagnoses, people will always be skeptical about you?
I mean, that's not necessarily a fear. It's a given. For me, it's a given. I would say I'm more surprised when people don't judge it.
Do you have any fears?
Fears. I would say the fear of being inadequate. That's the main one. The fear of being mediocre. I don't wanna die feeling like I didn't do anything, basically. And that's really my only fear.
How would you define inadequate?
Just having no benefit to the world, basically.
Do you think most people are inadequate?
I won't say most because there's quite a bit of people in the world, and I haven't met most, but I would say, yeah, there's a good amount of people that I would say are inadequate.
Is that why you're okay with manipulation? Because you view many people as inadequate?
No, that's not the main reason. Even if I view the person as adequate and I'm able to still manipulate them, that's like bonus points. I mean, we're all self-motivated. Like, we're all a bit narcissist. We're all a bit, we all are a bit,
but
psychopathic.
Where does it go from the typical amount of narcissist, the typical amount of self-driven to, okay, you now have antisocial personality disorder?
I can't speak to that. That would be like a person-to-person basis, but it's traits that we all have. In order for you to survive in the world, you have to be a bit narcissist. Everybody does things that are self-serving. Eating and drinking are self-serving. We're literally killing the planet with our eating habits, for example. We're killing the planet with our transportation habits. People do things that are self-serving. So it's not inherently a bad thing as long as the things that you're doing that are self-serving aren't resulting in negative outcomes for other people as well as yourself.
So what makes you care about having a negative impact on other people? Is that intrinsic?
No. It's just a matter of, you're causing unnecessary problems for other people. And I look at it from a very logical perspective because, a lot of trauma is passed down. So if I do something to you, for example, and you carry that throughout the rest of your life, I don't know if you have a wife or kids, but let's say you go on to have a wife and kids, and now your trauma from the event that you had with me filters into that. Now your wife starts to get a level of trauma, your kids start to get a level of trauma, other people that are close to you start to get to a level of trauma. Anyone you meet, it's possible the same thing can happen. So I look at it from that perspective. It's not an emotional thing, it really is a logical thing.
What was it like before you were so self-aware?
I would say it was very confusing. Very confusing because I didn't quite understand why it was. I didn't feel the way regular people felt. And I would often do things that would be, categorized as sensation chasing. So, you would engage in illegal activities, for example, and if you don't get caught, that's quite a rush. It's quite a rush to not get caught doing something. That's things that I used to do. lying and manipulating people, that gave me a sense of power in a way, because I can't necessarily feel anything myself in a way. So it gave me a sense of power to know that I can control other people's feelings.
Do you think you will manipulate somebody in the future?
No, not.
Remember, they gotta still lie. Of course he's going to say no. Of course he's going to say, I have an understanding. I have an understanding of myself. Don't let the devil fool you now. Do not let the devil fool you. He's still saying what the doctor wants to hear. He said it the correct way in the beginning. If I feel you pray, I'm gonna get you.
Word for word, he was by the book there for a minute. I said, boy, is he the doctor or the patient?
But people say they don't have no, if he can't help it, not if he can help it. No, if he smells it and he wants it, just like any animal, I'm not calling him an animal or a beast, they can try as much as they can. But just like people, anybody, if you have any type of habit, like sometimes you fall back off the wagon. So he's going to fall off the wagon because it's going to be something that he wants, or maybe he's going to meet somebody, maybe he ain't got no money or something. This girl's going to take care of me. I'm going to make her think I love her. It is what it is. Now, him, at least he acknowledged it, but it doesn't make it better. And like some people do have they feel sorry for them, but I cannot, because they don't feel sorry for me. So I feel sorry for them. So now we both have a not feeling sorry. I feel sorry for the people who overfeels everything. I feel sorry for the empaths who have to take on, because you remember, one can't exist without the other. You cannot have an empath without the narcissist. You cannot have a person who feels everything. Remember, life is a balance. So, of course, if people can feel everything, they got to go against the people who don't feel nothing. It's sad, but life is a balance. Life is a balance. Can't have one without the other. So, of course, if you got people with a lot of feelings and feel everything, it got to be the balance to that is people who don't feel nothing. And like he said, that trickles down. Like, look at all the families Nature Boy has destroyed. Look at all of it, trickles down. It just trickles. You see how happy he was when Pops passed? He didn't even have to say nothing. You ain't dealing with her no more, so you didn't have to say nothing. So what people wanted him to say, because they thought that he can feel, and they thought that Nature Boy had emotions, and they realized that he don't. Well, the same way he didn't have no feelings towards Malaya when her brother passed. They don't so they figure, she loved Pops. Well, he don't care for Pops at all. So what do people expect for him to say about Pops? What was people expecting him to say?
You gonna come up there trying to prove something, and man can't even speak for himself no more. That was stupid.
But this is the reality that people do not, especially if you're an empath. You should be so into these videos.
Oh, I've seen some.
But a lot of empaths, I don't give them a pass neither, because empath means you can feel what somebody else can feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you should know that person feels nothing. But in your mind, you want to help them. In your mind, no, you should know what you feel. Like, I can sometimes tell when people is like empty. I can tell when people's empty, but I'm like a hi and goodbye person. Hey, how you doing? Okay, goodbye. And then, but if you're a highly empathic person, or even if you're not, and you don't know that person doesn't have, you don't know nothing about that, you gotta You have to set general things up for you. Certain borderlines, certain protectors for you. Stop telling people you're an independent woman and how much money you make if you're a male or a female. Because you have females. So everything that's a male, you got a female like that too. They get you too. You understand? So stop telling people how much money you got and you this, you that. Stop telling people how sweet you are. Stop telling people, oh, I love people from the heart. I'm such a. Don't you know you don't? You are throwing yourself to the wolf. The wolf don't have to come and get you. You just said, wolf, eat me. Tear me up, wolf. Here I am. I came here so you can eat me. If you're such a beautiful person, I know. Stop it. As of today, stop it. Stop it. Now, you can say it to somebody you don't see all the time. You're not real cool. Don't worry about it. But you also got to keep your eyes open for some shady. You got to see when people temperature change.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a keen eye to when people temperature change, and that's what a lot of people don't. They don't never notice it. If somebody lies to you, you're being you up age now to say, oh nope, that's it. They can be like, oh, what? I didn't mean to. No. Sometimes I tell people you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're gonna be by yourself. Sometimes you gotta accept the fact, baby, that you may have to end up by yourself, and be okay with it, because you don't know who is what and what's is who's. You don't know what the hell. You don't know.
Oh, you better let them come and y'all have y'all good times and out their business.
Then bye. It's sad, but it is what it is. Stop looking for Mr. Right and looking for all this type of stuff. But after this, I got another short one for you guys.
Not to the extent that I did it before, at least. I could see myself doing it if I'm engaging in a business deal. It might be beneficial for me to get you to raise that bottom line, stuff like that. If which is manipulation. It's just.
Now, it might be the way that our collective minds have been trained through mainstream media, but when you say that, my first thought is that's what a manipulator would say.
Yeah.
Should I ever lose that skepticism? Should the viewer ever lose that skepticism when interacting with somebody with antisocial personality disorder?
You gotta know. Like I said, the people that I've known, I've had my friends for in between 8 and 13 years, 12, 13 years. So it's like they're not too concerned about that because, they know that, this is a relationship that's been pre-existing. The people that are close to me, I don't really do anything to upset those people because that's not beneficial to me to upset the people that are close to me.
Were you or are you ever a risk to be violent?
If you cross certain lines, for sure.
You see
Definitely. That? I can get to a period where it's like I shut down. Like say if we were to get into a heated argument and you're yelling and screaming, I'll probably just hit you. I won't talk too much.
What is that line for you though?
I don't tolerate disrespect in any shape or form. That's kind of the main thing that will give me.
That is a typical narcissistic answer. I do not tolerate any disrespect and boundaries and all this other stuff. Don't you notice that you hear that all the time? These are clues you have to watch out for. And sometimes you gotta learn how to people test you. You gotta learn how to test them back. You need to know. You need to know what you're dealing with. You need to know. Test their ass right back. If you don't know how to play the game, don't get in the game. It's sad, but you got to do what you got to do, because you can't afford to have all these feelings and emotions and somebody just come F your whole life up. A lot of people's life get effed up, and you got men like this that will purposely, like a nature boy, purposely have STDs and purposely, okay, I got this, so everybody got to get it. People don't understand this is how these people look. They purposely look for women, or they purposely look for men or women, depends on what sex you are, just to pass it to you. They get a satisfaction knowing that I gave this to you.
And
Now you got it. And then you're going to pass it to somebody else, and you're going to pass it to somebody else. They honestly get a high off of that.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard them stories, especially when the AIDS first came out, and some men affected 100 and something women and stuff like that. Y'all all heard them. Them are sociopaths. Them are sociopaths. They purposely poking holes, or they left it in there, and they make sure they throw it on you, so you're not even thinking about a rubber. Throw it on you. Women too. Women, they do it the opposite way. When women do it, they start off with the BJ, right? Because at that point you ain't thinking about that. They start off with the BJ, and once you get to a certain spot, they jump on it. Then they got you. So that gotta be men gotta be careful. A lot of women who go down too quick, or they do that to set you up. So you can get them knocked up. That's why I don't understand these videos with, just talking about men or just talking about. No, you got boys. People got kids. They got boys and girls. Why would you protect one sex over the other? Got to protect both.
Yeah, because there's girls out there that
Angry
sure
quickest.
will.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that because there are girls out there at young ages that will be out there trying to actually get pregnant.
Yeah, but men don't know how that happened. I'm letting the men know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what women do. They start with a BJ. And then next thing you know, before you could think about it, they jump right on top of you. Hey, it is what it is.
It is.
That's how a lot of these athletes get caught. Because they like the head first. That's the worst thing you can do.
Becky,
Susie, whoever. That go for a lot of women. That just go for a lot of women.
Becky is a BJ.
Oh. Yeah, but a lot of these athletes and entertainers, oh, y'all like head, all right. And that's that's the worst thing you can do. Because you know why? Because then you're going to be crying about the child support later. If you're going to be, either your thing going to be burning, shooting fire, or you're going to be crying about some child support. Getting head is no, don't never let a woman give you head first. Unless you know how to push her away and then put the bag on. If you don't have the strength to put that, say, well, hold up. You put this on before you get on there. And some practice it really well. They master it. And have you up and your toes curling and stuff. Next thing you know, you in child support. Or your thing burned. You go to the bathroom, the fire shooting from
I had a funny story about condom. I was with this guy, and I know him and everything, and my friend. We decided we were gonna do something sober. So I said, "Well, you got a condom?" So he said, "Yeah." He went to pull it out his wallet. Girl, I didn't hear nothing crunching, crinkling to the paper or nothing. I said, "Wait a minute. Wait, turn the light on." He was like, "What's up?" I said, "Why that condom ain't got no crunch to the paper and everything?" Well, that thing was so old.
Oh, goodness. Hey, Blanche. Well, if that's the case, I got antisocial personality too. I don't tolerate. No, it's a difference. It's a difference.
Oh, it's a big
difference. I don't tolerate disrespect neither. I'm talking about it's the way that they say it. It's the way that they say it. And most of them started. And then when people get disrespectful back at them, then they don't see that they made somebody go, what the F? They started it. So the person got disrespectful with them after they started it. And then they punched them in the face because they don't realize what they did. They thought they could say what they want to say. They could do what they want. The same way with nature. Did he think he could say and do whatever he want to do? But the minute you say something to him, now you're disrespecting him. Big difference. Like, usually I don't tolerate disrespect. I mean, you came at me. Now I'm coming back at you. Two different things. You safe, Blanche. You are safe. Oh, let me make her a love. I can on this page with a love. Let me make her a lovely sniper.
Thank you.
Oh God, where's the Let me do that. Keep that here. Our girl Foot Soldier left. She probably be back. And then after this, like I said, I like to cover these topics intensively because I've seen so much damage. So much damage. Okay, where am I at? Okay, I'm right here.
What do you perceive as disrespect?
If you show any disregard for me, basically.
See?
So kind of the same things that I would do
See?
to another person,
See?
more or less.
Thank you.
Know? But that's kind of like an ego thing.
Told you.
Which I do work on.
So I don't mean this with any disrespect,
Mm-hmm.
but would it be correct
Type something
to call
again,
you a
Black.
hypocrite then?
To call me a hypocrite? I would say yeah, in a way. And that's exactly why I want to work on my problems and do more positive. That's why I do my best now to not manipulate people and lie to them and do things like that, because I know that if somebody was to do it to me, depending on it depends on the context too. It depends on what's actually at stake.
How would you explain what it is like to have your diagnoses to somebody who has the typical range of emotions?
I would compare it to that first moment when you wake up in the morning and the world is kind of just an empty canvas and there's not much really happening yet, so you're just super neutral. That's really how I would describe it.
How do you look at yourself?
I just look at myself as just pretty normal, pretty
Still
average.
not blue yet, Tony.
I think the media kind of overly sensationalizes antisocial personality disorders in general.
She said it's blue.
They make it seem like most of us are just murderers and we're just off the hinge, which in some cases, rare cases, it can be true. But most people, because all mental health issues exist on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So most people you're going to see that are going to exhibit these traits are going to be high functioning. So you would, career fields like doctors, CEOs, lawyers, you typically see them engage in those fields because a lot of that stuff is logical. It's not really emotional based. And the way you're dealing with people, again, is emotional based. It's all logic. So you'll find, people like me in those fields.
Are you proud of yourself for anything?
Okay.
I mean, I do have a sense of pride. I mean, I would say I'm proud of myself for sitting here right now.
Yeah, it's
because
blue,
this
baby.
something
I
that
see it
normally
now.
do. I'm sure even people that I know and people in my family are going to watch this and they may be surprised to hear that, I do have certain issues.
What would you like to say to those who are close to you who are learning about this for the first time?
They know.
Still me, hopefully they're not offended by anything that I say. A lot of people that I've only actually told maybe two people about it. And they have, people typically have adverse reactions to it because people start to feel like, oh, well, you don't care about me, right? And that's not necessarily the case. I just have my own way of going about it.
What is the most important thing somebody can learn from this interview?
I would say I did this more so for people with, antisocial personality disorder. I didn't necessarily do it for people that don't have it, because I want people that suffer from it to go get the help. I want them to learn how to use all those techniques that we use to lie, to manipulate, to hurt. Use that to benefit people, if you can, because it has a collective effect. That's really how you have to look at it. You have to look at it in a logical way. It has a collective effect, and it makes your life more enjoyable.
Yeah.
People will be more so willing to, I guess, accept who you are. And again, it's not really an emotional thing. It makes it easier for you to live life when you're not having to constantly hide and, you know, lurk within the shadows.
What do you think when you hear the term sociopath?
Um, Regular person with less emotions, to be honest. Because that's what really most people would be that have antisocial personality disorder. It's just, the sensations we feel. Um, we don't get a lot from the external world. And then again, everything is on a spectrum, so I can't necessarily speak to other people's experiences, but I know my own experience. That's how it is.
He has to be in. Yeah, he is in therapy. He's been in therapy for years. Most no, no, he's been in therapy for years. So basically, therapy is only teaching them what's right or what's wrong. They're not. They cannot be. You can't undo that. You can't. They're not going to get feelings if they don't have it. They don't have it. You know, people don't get confused, but you can. They do know right from wrong because they could say, we do stuff. Well, why you didn't do it in front of a cop then? Why a certain authority you know how to act. So which means you know what's right from wrong. You go to rob, just, hey, I don't have no feeling. Let me just go rob this bank. No, you thought about it. And you figure, well, let me look and see if anybody's watching, any popo. So you are conscious of right and wrong. Okay? So that's what they have to learn. The same way, you wouldn't want to be in jail, so you're going to watch yourself so you don't have to get locked up. So you're going to watch yourself from doing wrong to people. You know right from, you don't have to feel what I feel. And remember, they can dish it, but they can't take it because they don't understand what they dished out. That's why some women or men could have the most reckless mouth. And the minute you say something, they ready to fight you. What she said too. So here go one last one. If it's triggering you, let me know. This is by Kanika Batra. Let's see what's going on.
Today I'll be answering all the questions you guys have left in my comment section. I was going to type responses to them, but I realized it would take way too long and this might be more fun. Please make sure to like and subscribe. It really, really would help me if you click the notification. Then Unison said that I've had antisocial personality and narcissistic personality. It's not a mistake. It's not up for debate. And unless you're a medical professional and you know my case files, I think you should just step down on that situation and that issue. Because no, I am not a borderline. Not now, not ever. Antisocial personality and narcissistic personality. I will show documents at some point. The primary differences between me and someone with borderline personality would be very, very obvious ones, such as guilt, no remorse, no empathy. Conscience is built on moral compass as opposed to a genuine conscience. I've also brought up this little Venn diagram because I like Venn diagrams. So things we would have in common would be the impulsive urges, addiction to things, emptiness, gotcha there, low mood, sometimes, unstable, often, hostile, sometimes. But antisocial people would have fewer emotions, which I can say is true. I mean, I do have emotions, which I did discuss in another video, but they're not nearly as volatile as that of someone with borderline personality disorder. My whole life isn't really dictated by them. Disregard for safety. I do pretty reckless things sometimes. I'm kind of surprised I'm still alive. Dismissive attachment style. That's me. And cons or deceives for profit or pleasure. I can say I've done that in the past. With borderlines, they tend to idealize, they fear abandonment. But I think abandonment is an issue with all of the cluster B. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm fairly certain. And low self-esteem. No, not the same.
How soon do you tell people about your diagnoses when you date?
So I do like to be very open and upfront with people I date, but I do not go out there saying, hey guys, I've got antisocial personality disorder on like a label or anything. I want someone to get to know me first, to understand the way I work, my personality, and let them see the positive traits I would bring to the relationship before I tarnish it by this very maligned disorder.
Yeah, she is definitely narcissistic. Yo, how? Oh God, how you gonna get? How they gonna get to know you when you mirroring their behavior? Remember, you don't. This lady right here. I know, right? Hey, living my truth. What do you mean? You don't want to tarnish nothing. What? You want to suck? See how they suck you in? Then she gonna tell her. She done pissed me off already. She done pissed me off. She don't piss me. But thanks for telling us. But yeah, now that I love you, now that you don't love me the way I love you. But thanks for telling me. Sheesh. Yep. Yep. She ain't get the help. She ain't get all the help she needed. She just telling people what they want to hear. Let's go.
All the stigma and all the hatred that's kind of shoved down your throat. I like to give myself a chance and show off who I really am before they find that out.
All right, here's a saucy one from Sven Gali. If you don't have empathy, how are you capable of love?
Firstly, I don't think empathy has anything to do with love. I do understand that neurotypicals are empathetic with one another, but that doesn't mean that they'll have a successful relationship, as can be seen in the 51% divorce rate, if it isn't higher, which it probably is. That's not to say that no empathetic people can have good relationships, but I think love is based on compassion, kindness.
You don't have none of that.
Duty and honor.
You don't have none of that.
Not something that should be something that's related to empathy or guilt or these negative emotions that are there to keep you in check. I think I can love as much as anybody else, regardless of this personality disorder.
All right, I can't really read the name on this one, but this person has autism and struggles with socialization. What's helped you cultivate your charm?
Okay, so I know that autism, like being on the spectrum, is quite similar to antisocial personality. The difference is, I believe it was explained that people with autism feel but don't understand, and people with ASPD understand but don't feel. And
I just like to tell you guys, I just spoke upon these type of women. She'll be the one. She got the boobs and all this other type of thing. This man not knowing that she gonna get you. Y'all thinking these girls ain't gonna get you. She gonna get you. She gonna do Becky and get you. She just told on herself. I want you to see what I can bring to. No, chick, you acting like me. You mimicking me. You have no feelings of your own. You have no identity. You're mimicking me. So how you want to show me that? See, this is why you gotta watch. This is why we gotta watch these things. We gotta break these things down too.
not sure that's 100% the case, but that's how I've seen it to be. The way I cultivated charm was basically growing up. I didn't really know how to react to things and what really made people want to be friends with each other, or any of these like social normal relationships that go on. I had to learn everything myself. So I mirrored people. I went into different social circles.
She's gonna do a
picked up
Becky. She's gonna do a BJ Blank.
Basically,
Don't worry about it. She's
everyone has
BJing
something
it.
to offer. During this mirroring, I just developed this kind of
See?
persona that comes on whenever I'm in public or a different group of friends.
So you thought you was trying to fool me. Talking about I want them to learn me. No, you're mirroring them. She thought she was gonna get that one over on you. You see, she had to admit it, right?
Friends. My personality changes depending on who I'm with.
Exactly.
Which I'm sure is the case for everybody, but mine is to a higher degree. I don't naturally have the same instincts as an empath or someone who has strong emotional responses. That's also why you'll notice that I don't break eye contact very often. I had to physically teach myself to blink more often, which is really weird. Yeah, and to stop staring at people. It freaks them out. But yeah, the way to learn charm is really kind of mirroring others and looking up at videos of successful charming people. Like, I don't know, who's the most charming person that I know? I have some very charismatic people in my family that I look up to, and also celebrities like Beyonce. You know, she's just so perfect. So that's a really important thing. Mirroring and looking up examples of who you want to be. Just fake it till you make it.
Question from default. How about the manipulation trait of this disorder? Isn't it like a computation you have to constantly keep in check?
So I think that I am quite manipulative naturally. It's just really, really built in because, like I said, I've learned everything from people around me, and the examples have been quite manipulative. And I have to have those instincts, otherwise, I don't get the outcomes that I want. I don't think all manipulation is bad. I think you can manipulate people to do good things. I personally am so scared of becoming an abuser or someone who takes this personality disorder and becomes the worst person possible. So I'm always keeping myself in check. I always doubt myself. I'm like, am I doing this to control someone? Am I doing this to be abusive? Am I like, it always weighs on my mind. So whenever I manipulate, I try to do it in a good way to have positive outcomes. I'm not a perfect person. I've done some horrible things. And while I don't have remorse about doing them, I've learned from them. And I know objectively that they're wrong. And I think it's a bad thing to manipulate others to do bad things for them, like, you know, to do things that will hurt them eventually, because it will come back to me, and I don't want that.
All right, here's a great question. Is it true your eyes become black when you're angry?
No, they become red. You should see it. It's fantastic. But I want to speak to this because all of you guys keep saying I have dead eyes in the comment section. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't really know that, but yeah, all right. Sociopath stare, there you go.
All right, so a good question from Sam, who has a great name.
Yeah, it's that sociopath stare. The narcissistic people have the same stare. They stare and their eyes turn a whole different color. They turn a whole, and she said hers turned red. I would probably throw some holy water at her and start running. She would not have to see me again ever. Oh, God.
Name, I must say. So do you think that you are the baseline and that when you're void of certain emotions like guilt and shame, you can choose to be a good person because there's no emotions involved, kind of like being a blank canvas? Do you think that these emotions that most people feel could actually be worse when it comes to decision making than not having them at all? I'm genuinely asking.
So I think that guilt is a terrible mechanism that negatively affects society in general. of course this is biased, but I think that it's extremely hard to be morally good when you don't have guilt and you don't have empathy or remorse or shame. And that's why I'm so proud of people who have the disorder and still go out of their way to do nice things and to bring about positive change for everybody
She
around.
got a husband.
I
Look
think
at that
I am
ring.
a blank canvas, and I think it would be good for society to have less of that guilt hang on their minds. It's not a positive thing at all. It's something that
How would you know if it's not positive if you don't have it? Why would you want the world not to have? You know how much chaos this world would be in? Do you know how chaotic this world would be if people had less empathy, emotions, and feelings? You might just be a robot. But they really do because they have to mirror you. So they look into your soul. They look into your soul to try to become you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it would be a bunch of robots or people just go around hurting each other. They would go around hurting each other and don't care. So scratch that one. But that's her. That's her opinion. Of course, it's her opinion because she doesn't feel that way. So she can't say the world would be better if it was less than that because you don't have guilt. You do what you want and that's it. And she got a nice ring on her finger though. People who got all the feelings in the world don't have a wedding ring like that. People with no feelings at all get a wedding ring like that. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I told you, should Becky. Should do little Becky first. BJ.
a manipulation to make you feel a certain way, and it's not right. I don't think it should be a natural human response. I think we're smart enough and evolved enough to not need a mechanism like that to realize that we're wrong when we do certain things. I think humanity would benefit greatly from just compassion, kindness, and just social order, which would punish you for doing horrible things rather than making you feel a certain way.
All right, question from Naomi Bishop. What happens when you're in a relationship with someone with NPD or ASPD? Do you hold them to the same regard as someone who is attentive and caring, or do these relationships fizzle out?
So it's really an interesting thing when you're dating someone else who has the same disorder as you. This has happened twice for me. So my first boyfriend, who I was very much in love with, and
No, you weren't.
and another person I was dating who was so toxic that he had a very, very checkered criminal history. I do hold them to a different degree, essentially, when I'm dealing with them. This is primarily because I care more about someone who cares about me. When they're kind of in it for themselves, it's hard for me to, as a narcissist myself, to be giving them narcissistic supply when I need it so badly. It becomes sort of a codependent relationship, and it's not
Exactly.
really healthy. I think those relationships, they
That
could
is
have
true.
worked if they were more committed to change or were willing to at least consider not doing such toxic things. But unfortunately, they were the type of people with ASPD and NPD who chose to do the terrible things rather than putting those impulses away and doing the best for themselves and for the relationship. With empaths, I've not really had that problem. I've had other big issues come up with, insane jealousy or rages and, things like that, which don't come out of a sociopathic relationship because we don't have that internal fire. It's kind of hard to say which one's better, which one isn't. It's challenging when it's two sociopaths or two narcissists. Let me just tell you that much.
Question from Victoria. Do you think Alice may have been a psychopath?
It's very, very possible. That girl was talented.
All right, another question from Victoria. When you say that inside there is nothing, you're just a hollow shell, what exactly do you mean?
What I mean by that is I feel like that to me there's only layers and layers of different personalities and different qualities that I've affected over over time. Like I've adopted them from different people. I feel like if you strip all of that away at the core, there would be nothing. And I'm not going to get emotional here. I'm not going to be depresso about it. But it's quite sad. That's why I like to keep myself really distracted. And that's why most sociopaths like to keep themselves distracted, because we don't really want to focus on the fact that we feel like there's nothing there. Now, my partner thinks that I'm wrong and that if we do intensive therapy and we go down to the surface level, that there is a person there. But it's just trauma with false personalities and then things and tricks I've learned from other people, and then the positive attributes that I've collected myself. But there is no me, essentially. Not in my mind, anyway.
All right, another interesting question. Can you describe the feeling when you feel happy?
Okay, so my happiness is very, very shallow. I can be outwardly happy, but internally I don't know, something really, really good has to happen for me to be genuinely happy. It's kind of this jubilation or this bubbliness that's going on inside. It's not common. I don't feel happy that often. I feel satisfied with life. I feel that I'm doing adequately well. But yeah, I don't think I experience happiness the same way that a neurotypical would.
And she also asked, do you ever wish you were able to be more empathetic?
Not at all.
All right, this person says, the one thing I keep in mind about sociopaths is that everything you do for someone is not done out of altruism or love. It is done because you will benefit from it in some way. Are you all really capable of love?
Okay, so firstly, I want you to think about the idiom that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Nobody's altruistic. Nobody does things purely from altruism. When people hold charity galas and fundraisers, they're doing it for a purpose, and often they get a cut. No, I don't do it out of altruism. Everybody is out for personal gain, not just sociopaths and narcissists. The fact is that we acknowledge that it's transactional, whereas empaths do not. It's obviously a gray scale, like it goes, it's not just black and white, but no, nobody is truly altruistic. I don't believe so anyway. And we are capable of love, as I've answered before.
From Nicholas, how do you feel about children? Are you worried that your kids will suffer if they get the same condition?
So at first I did not want children at all. I've never really liked them past the age of 3. I love babies. I really love fat babies, like this really chubby with the chubby cheeks, you know. I love them. As for my own, I don't plan to have them until I've had complete therapy for everything that I can provide for them physically, financially, emotionally, all of that sort of stuff. I want to be completely ready before those children arrive. I hope they do not have ASPD or NPD. I hope that they can take the positive qualities out of those disorders and fly with that. So obviously the logical thinking, the intuition, the drive from sociopathy, and the ability to love yourself and focus on your positive attributes. Maybe not the same as narcissistic personality, because honestly, that can be a hollow shell, but I want them to be able to self-regulate their confidence. So I don't hope that they get the full-blown personality disorders, because they will suffer in that case, because we all do suffer quite significantly so because of the comorbidities with mood disorders. So yeah, I don't want them to have it, but I want them to collect the positive traits out of the disorders.
All right, scary question here. What will happen if the partner hurts the one with ASPD badly? I'm gonna get murdered.
I'm going to answer for myself and not necessarily all people with ASPD, but I'm very vengeful and I do have a mean streak. Firstly, I will try to rationalize in my mind why you have done them, because I'm quite logical. But if I realize you're just doing it to hurt me, there will be consequences. And I'm not proud of it, but I can use manipulation to be bad. I just don't. But if someone is purposely trying to hurt me, then all bets are off. In summary, what I'd like to say is that all people with ASPD are very varied. We aren't exactly the same. And while we do have the same impulses, we're not necessarily the same in what we do to respond to them. Like, let's say Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy has an impulse to kill people. Ted Bundy does it. I have an impulse to hurt someone. I don't do it because I don't want to go to jail. and I don't want to be away from my kitty cats, right? We respond to stimuli differently, and there's always nuances between different people, just like there are with empaths. If you have any more questions, always keep writing them in the comment section, and I will go through them and I will answer them either through text or I will make another video if you like this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and I really appreciate how
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. But we learning, we learning, we learning, we learning, we learning. You know, I think I had some videos with some the terminologies, but it doesn't matter because it's good to keep. It's good. You done change clothes, lady. You done come back more sexy. You is muted. I don't know who you talking to.
Oh my goodness. I was I'm cooking some ribs for the kids, I told you. So I have to get more relaxed.
She done came back more sexy. I'm like, oh, all righty now.
Get off this camera. Shut up, Tony.
Yeah, but this was a good one. I'm gonna still keep putting the same different terms up. You got new eyes that watch it, so y'all may get tired of hearing it, my regular people. Or sometime you wouldn't mind to just hey, let me keep refreshing myself. So I may show so you can know how to pick up these things in different situations. Cause see, they're gonna be okay. My job is to help the defenseless. My job is to help the one with the big heart, the one who loves unconditionally. My job is to help the victims. The victims. And I feel now for the people who know they have these problems and they acknowledge it, or even if you don't acknowledge it, but you go to get help, them, I respect them because they know. They may not know I'm hurting these people, but they still know that's not the see. A lot of them find out that it's not the right thing to do when certain things are done to them. So even though she doesn't feel bad that you did it, but she feels, okay, now I'm gonna get you back. So when things are done, so that makes me say, hold up, man, this person did me dirty. So then you know what doing somebody dirty feels like. Because now when they get you, or you come across another you, and like she said, you become codependent. And that's what I think that happened there with Nature Boy and Velvet. They became codependent.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, because me, I ain't sitting up there crying for nobody. And I got to go take off one of them messages that's on my daggone other thing because people, I hate when people don't watch the video in full and they already come with their opinion. What part of, I tell people before you start judging people, do math first.
Mm-hmm.
Math means like that's how old are you, or how old is your mother?
The mama know when the girl gonna have the baby.
I just told her. I told her today. She didn't know it was November, unless she knows. Unless she trying to say, "Girl, when it drop, it drop." I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she don't know. You know, we don't know.
I don't think it's no November.
And I don't know.
She gonna have a baby about the beginning of next month.
I need to go back because she said she was having a girl, but I didn't I don't know if she went to the doctor and got a sonogram to find that out. I didn't never watch the video because it was come to find out it was never the gender reveal was did she show a sonogram for the gender reveal?
No.
Shows how do she know it's a girl?
All she did, she didn't do none of that. All she did was, I didn't see no sonogram. I don't know what kind of gender reveal she called herself doing.
Or maybe, you know, because usually when I know it's different ways you can do a gender reveal. Like you could do a cake, a balloon. You could do like certain things
I
like
mean,
that.
that's what the gender reveals when they
But you
show
still,
the
but you
sex,
still
when
have to
they
have a
tell the sex of the
sonogram.
baby.
Yeah, but you still have to have a sonogram,
Something to tell you whether you have it. Right.
right? We didn't see that. She better not. She better not have that baby. That's what it's supposed to be do. That's what she said. We ain't seen nothing for that neither.
She ain't showed nothing as far as going to the doctor and taking care of that pregnancy. That girl ain't a bit more showed no concern for that pregnancy than the man in the moon.
But you know, she's gonna have to accept the fact that her daughter did develop narcissistic personality disorder. She's gonna have to realize because remember, narcissistic people are made. Most of them are not born that way. They are made. If you made that child feel like the golden child, you just made one. If you abuse a child, you have now just made one. You know, so she's gonna have to understand that whatever happened when she was with her dad, that's what she developed. Don't come changing my mouth.
My kids been listening to me and you so long now, Tony. My friend that was over here that was showing out, they was analyzing her, and he was like, she was just assuming stuff, and she was. I said, oh Lord, they've been listening.
Yeah, that's what we do. We make sure they learn.
They had her down packed. They was like, she was just assuming stuff, and she was being annoying, and she was doing this and me and this way and that way. And I just understand why she was just coming over here acting like that.
Exactly. Exactly. And then she got to know y'all hours are earlier than mine. So once I get off, y'all still got the whole night. Even if I get up at 10 o'clock, that's still y'all 7 o'clock. Y'all still got the whole night.
It's Saturday night too. Oh shoot!
Saturday night at the movies.
Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. I got some money cause I just got paid. Oh, how I wish I had someone to talk to, someone to walk my way.
Took my baby to the hop last night. And what? To my surprise, she looked me right between my eyes. But anyway, my baby couldn't do the cha cha cha. You couldn't.
Crazy.
Even though we made like we put all 3 songs. We put 3 songs together.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Be happy. Well, let me go check out these YouTube streets. Or I may watch a movie. I thank all you guys for coming over here. I'm going to erase that man comment about the mother because he didn't understand. She's telling her story, but I'm trying to tell you guys before you tell it what you think.
It was a man that's trying to be objective.
You saw it?
No, I didn't see it. But
when you get a chance before I erase it, go look at it. Just look at them like that's people's problem. You can't know. You got to ask people questions. You cannot sit up there and assume nothing. A lot of things I see, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be correct. So I have to sit back sometime to see. So if it does happen, I'm not surprised. But if it doesn't happen, I didn't give a, I didn't say what it was. That's how I'm feeling.
But that ice was loud. I had to look around, girl. It sounded like it was in my room.
I had no ice.
Or whatever that little sound was. It was.
That's probably the air conditioner. The people who live upstairs, they AC is tipping on my AC. You know how the water comes through the back? Yeah, so it's falling
y'all
on
still
my
having rain?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, y'all got a tornado up that way, huh?
I ain't know nothing about that. Don't you?
No, they said that y'all got
no
rain.
Bad news.
It ain't over there by y'all, but y'all got the rain and the bad weather from it.
It was like this since June. My goodness.
Wow,
You heard all the rain that was coming.
Yeah, y'all didn't even have
summer.
a summer. That was summer, June.
Summer coming now. Summer's coming now. But
Oh, y'all have late summer.
no, just this year we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna have a late summer. But it seemed like because we didn't have a summer. What sweaters every day? I'm like, what the heck is this? We had a couple of hot days, but to me that was perfect though. Because some summers it's like, oh my goodness, because we got the humidity to go with it. Then we got it's buildings on top of buildings, so it's not like air is flowing. The
Yeah,
air is not flowing. Too many buildings.
yeah. I'm out here. You can see the mountains, but well, you can't see the mountains now because of the smoke from the Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
But from my place, like you can see them all the way to the Nevada mountains.
Oh,
You can see the snow on the caps and everything.
oh,
But
that's
you can't see nothing from now because it's smoke and they burning up over there.
mm. Yeah, but I want to take that off because sometimes when people express how they feel, I don't think that you should contra. You like if I'm telling you how I feel, how are you gonna tell me how I feel? I just told you how I feel. See, I don't have patience. She's the lady pouring her heart out, and you going got such and such and such. Instead, stop telling people what. Yes, so they stay on social media. Yes, but are they? No. So then you don't need to watch nothing of theirs if they stay on social media.
Don't watch that person that you don't want to hear her problems or whatever she talking about. Don't watch it.
That's the purpose of me not going to Bigo. I don't want to watch it. So that's why would I go on Bigo? Now,
Oh, they're gross over there. You and Tony. That is no
that's why
place for a lady like you.
and that's why I felt bad for her mother because not only that that was and then the mother said that picture that Wanda showed that was at her house. That wasn't
Yes.
Wanda's house. You heard when she said that, right?
Yeah.
She said that was never when she met her. Never that she met her and she took that picture. The picture said, "You want to see my yard?" She said, "I'll show you." And I think that's when she first came home. Remember, she was really small. And as you think about it, she was a little bit bigger. That picture had to be an older picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but she was really tiny. So she was only 116 pounds when she was having Eliana. And then when she had Eliana, she didn't really gain no fat. And then she lost more weight from stress on top of that. But now that she got the game, I'm like, you all over YouTube, my name all over Bigo. See, me, I'd have rang my child neck. I ain't telling you no lie. I would have rang her neck. You got me in all this bullshit. You want some content? I got some content for you, all right?
Okay, I'd run her ass off of there. Every time she come on there, I would be on there like, girl, you could come here. She need to go on there and blast her and let her know, hey, no, let's not do this.
No, not Velvet. Wanda. The one went trying. Wanda went on everybody's chat that she can go on and
Oh
tell
yeah,
that story.
she did, and
That was
that is to me that was exploiting the situation,
exploiting I mean,
the whole situation. She
you was
exploited the
exploiting
whole.
her. You was exploiting her, so you can make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
That's narcissism too. You didn't know, like she didn't even care about that child.
Made the story up about that. And the lady said that she changed the baby's diaper as they were talking on the phone, and she was talking to Wanda. She said Wanda changed the baby's diaper as we were talking on the phone. She never said anything about the baby being wide open and all that.
And it's sad that she thinks that Wanda's older than her, because she probably remember she's only 44, so she probably figuring maybe she's about your age or something. So I can tell her the baby was doing this or doing that. She didn't expect for her to hit the airwaves with that. I would never.
Even if you can't tell the grandmother that, why would you go on the internet? That is pornography to me. Or exploitation. It's something to do. It's one of them charges that I've seen a polite got. She could get that charge. By they said that you cannot exploit on the internet by a voice video or anything, so she could get that charge. One of them charges that he got, that felonious
Mm-hmm.
something down there. Yeah, she
Sad, but
fits right
yeah.
up in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was at first. I was when I was doing it, I wasn't doing it. I was like, "What the hell is this? That's crazy." Why then you took that to Vigo? And then to anybody that wanted to listen, only that one girl checked her. First the girl was arguing with her. Then she was like, "Girl, you don't know what you talking about."
I don't think she gonna have that baby in November either, Blanche.
No, she said she better not. That's her month.
Oh,
That's her birthday month. That's like,
oh.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Don't you know no good?
She is not having it. I think she gonna have that baby towards the end of this month. Let's see, this is September, October. No, about the middle, about the 15th of next month, before the 15th, round somewhere in there.
You ask me. I think she's ready to pop now.
Yeah, I believe it's in the
Yeah,
next,
pop now. That's definitely Nature Boys.
and in the next 2 to 3 weeks, she gonna have that baby.
Next 2-3 weeks, it won't be Nature Boys, but if it's popping any minute now, but she better find her address.
She better go to her mama house so that she can have somebody to come and get that baby, because they're not gonna let her walk out the hospital with that baby.
The other mine is I'm not bucking down to you. You better buck down to your mother because you don't want your kid to buck
She
down.
better. Do she understand that she needs her mom to walk out of the hospital with that baby?
Do she know that she's somebody to drive? I mean, like, you live across the street, you're in a hotel across the street or something? Because you got to get the car seat just for the baby to come home. Well, I know out here we do. They don't
You're not walking out the hospital.
car. You got to
get walking out the hospital with the baby.
And that baby got to get tested. And you, unless he sneaks her to Puerto Rico, but I don't know how Puerto Rico rules go. I don't know. So we got to stay tuned for that one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to stay tuned.
American wait a minute. Before you go off, I want you to put on True. I want to hear what True.
I heard it. I heard it. I saw it yesterday. I wouldn't attach that to this video anyway. But
that's right.
When you told me yesterday, I saw it.
Oh,
but I'm like, it makes absolutely no sense because even if you're talking to a Nature Boy or you're not talking to a Nature Boy, let's say you wasn't, it makes no sense what you're saying when they out there living it up Friday night. You know what I'm saying? While you out there picking cotton and stuff,
and talking and whining and moaning and groaning
and picking cotton, right, and tobacco and stuff, right. They got you out there picking tobacco and cotton and stuff,
and in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And they having a good old time. You talking about it, people that's y'all just of the world, and y'all that's your master, your God.
Mm-hmm.
Is out there at the clubs breaking it down.
And it's a shame that he led them to believe that, and then who cares? All of them narcissistic or something wrong.
All of them.
That's what I want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Monday, hopefully just pray that she come. I'm gonna go check over there and check her page and see did she get the thing or did they spam it. But they don't usually let you leave information in the comments. They put it in spam and I don't even know my spam is at either. So if she can't find her, I get it.
You'll find it where you were when you were doing the unblocking thing and all that.
Yeah, I will look for it, but she don't know that she will have to look for it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I put it there.
Who?
Me on her page, so she can.
Who on whose page? You keep saying her. Who? I don't know.
Her mother.
Oh, okay.
For the interview Monday, so I can DM her Monday, and say, hey, are you still going to do the interview or not? You know?
Okay, so you need to make a flyer and put that up so it can be advertising for Monday.
I got to speak to her Monday first. I got to speak to her Monday and see if she's still going to do it. I did, like I said, hopefully she was able to.
And I bet I guarantee she gonna do it since she don't sound like she had no problems coming up here.
They're not going to let her live. They're not going to let her leave without no car seat. And that baby got to get tested for everything.
Yeah, and gotta get vaccinated, shot, blood test, blood type, uh, everything. And they're not gonna let her leave with the baby. And she got it. And Eliana ain't going in the hospital with her.
No.
So she need to hurry up and get it together and get to her mom.
Unless she's not doing it alone. And we don't know about it.
Even so, the people want to talk to her about that child, the one she already got. We shit. The one that in her stomach is in school right now, but the one she got, they want to talk about it.
That's why I want to keep a good rapport with her so she can keep us updated, and it's up to her if she wants us to share it or not.
I hope she get in touch with her mama. I really do.
Yeah, but her mother said she knows how she has to come at me.
Right.
So Velva's in her mind. I'm the queen bee, but she doesn't understand. You don't know that little Capricorn you got, honey. Ellie got some plans. Ellie got some plans for you, baby. Ellie got some plans for you, but she's gonna think she's the boss too.
Okay.
And then she better hope that Ellie don't be hitting that baby.
Well, yeah, because they taught Ellie that she was the princess.
Exactly.
And, so she that's why Velvet telling her things was hard. It was hard for her to really discipline her because she ain't never had no discipline. She was the queen. She didn't have no discipline.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and then she's been hitting. Hopefully, like I said, she's used to hitting. She's used to violence. She's not used to sharing her space. So it's not going to be no, be nice to baby sister. She doesn't understand that. When you turn your head, she's going to knock the heck out that little girl. Anytime you turn your head, she's going to be doing something to that baby. So she better definitely
Yeah, no, she ain't had no prenatal care, Blanche. Nothing.
And I know here they will call. She said they looking for her already. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is this girl doing? What is this girl doing?
And why are you hiding from the people? If you ain't doing nothing wrong, why are you hiding?
And then she said she's gonna. What she don't realize is even though she doesn't realize even you had a good pops to you, but not the way she explained it. When she wanted him to be good, he was good. When she didn't want him to be good, he wasn't. She turned on him too. But what she don't understand is you staying with your father. Your father is a man who has a woman. So really Tina took care of you guys. But the mother's a woman. You can't set out to do what Pops wanted to do. Because Pops couldn't do it. Because Pop had kids. Guess what? You got kids now too. Not a child. Hopefully nothing happens to that baby. But you have now got all them plans go out the window. Didn't we all have plans? And we got knocked up. All them plans went out the window. Some people when they was young, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the next thing you know, nope, you can't go. Because you got to be home with them babies. And them babies got to go to school. And babies got to do this. And you got to go to doctor's appointments. And babies get sick. And then you have to work. And you got to take care of them kids. Even if you is doing social media, people have to remember social media is a job. It's just only difference is what you put out. You could put out positivity or negativity. It's what you, but it's a job. Y'all thought that it wasn't a job for me to find all them videos and make sure I got them put in a particular spot so y'all can. No, that's work. That is work. I don't know. I hope y'all don't think that's not work. That is work. And when you do it to the point that the person you're doing the video on coming to your stream and say, I like the way you put the videos together.
Okay.
That is work.
Went back down memory lane and brought it on back.
Well, let me get out of here. It's almost 12 o'clock. Well, I still gotta go over there. Go check out that man. Check out that man comment. This the one he not the one he. I'm gonna take off both of them. I don't care what he got to say about Velvet because it's not about Velvet. And then the one he said about the mother, I want you to check it out before I take it off the page.
All right, I'm gonna go check it out right now.
All right,
girl.
I
I'm
give you a
proud
buzz.
of
I
you.
give you a. I'm proud of you, girl. We did it. Next time we have an interview, we don't have no company because we could have had more questions asked. So get them questions ready for Monday.
For sure. All right, good
All
night.
right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Peace. Protect yourself from narcissism. We are talking about people that are narcissistic. Protect yourself at all times. Peace out.